From the most intense and dramatic moments to the lines that keep us laughing, improv has been key to bringing Euphoria to the screen. Actors were shocked and terrified while others were in stitches getting through the improvised dialogue. We're taking a look at how some of the best improvised scenes in the HBO hit came to life.
What are you doing?
Number 1. If we know anything by now, it's that Nate and Maddie probably shouldn't be together. In their tense and dramatic scene featuring a twisted game of Russian roulette, the choreography was precise and planned, but that didn't mean everything played out as expected. The scene wasn't even really discussed before they dove right into filming. Levinson would find inspiration in the moment and throw out suggestions, while Demi and Elordi worked together to improv and experiment with how their characters behaved with each other. We're not too surprised that this was the hardest scene Alexa Demi had to shoot. She couldn't escape the tense feelings of her character because she tried to stay in the scene while they were working. This test of endurance was made even more intense since they filmed the scene for a full 2 days. And on the Euphoria set, those days are usually well over 12 hours each.
Okay, this is it, people! It's showtime! Let's go!
Number 2. You've never seen a high school drama production quite like this. Maude Apatow was a theater kid in high school, and all that realness was brought to the 7th episode of the 2nd season. Lexi's aggressive and kind of tyrannical behavior backstage was easy for the actress to tap into, since it was loosely based on her own high school experience.
Mick, you're a blind 3-year-old could do a better job than you.
Levinson and Apatow had a lot of talks about that experience, so Levinson knew he could trust the actress to nail the part. And no surprise, she did.
I love the theater.
Number 3. It wasn't going to be a pretty one. We thought the fight between Rue and her mom in the first season was bad, but the 3-way argument between Rue, Leslie, and Gia brought the drama to new heights. The cruel words exchanged and physical outbursts were almost entirely improvised. What we got in the show was a totally authentic argument since none of them knew what was coming.
Thought it wasn't a good idea! Gia, please! Let me handle this!
With these 3 actors knowing each other so well and having genuine love and care for each other, they were able to feel safe enough to really go through all that all out and surprise each other while filming. Preparing to film this sequence was tough enough without knowing what to expect, but knowing just how brutal moments are in the series, Nika King, Zendaya, and Storm Reid all did some mental prep to make sure they could take proper care of themselves emotionally on the day.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Number 4. It's her kid, but she can drive her crazy. The mothers in the 2nd season have a rough go, and from what we've seen, being Cassie's mom can be a real struggle.
Cassie, please, just a little bit of peace, please.
So much so that the actress who plays her, Alana Ubach, actually wound up cursing excessively while the two were fighting about Cassie sleeping with Nate. With this kind of drama around, who can blame her? She even said, "You know, Sydney brings it out in me. She's in character the whole time, and it gets rather scary because it's so real." There was a bit more to it, though. The actress was reminded of the feistiness within her own family dynamic when she was growing up. Her mother was actually the one who used to whip out that line about someone needing an exorcism all the time.
Oh, she needs a f***ing exorcism.
You gotta work with what you know. Number 5. Who doesn't love a confession-style monologue? We are here for it. Maude Apatow brings the Euphoria magic in her behind-the-scenes style chat about her play. And what's more is this sequence was actually improvised by Apatow and Sam Levinson on set. Apatow didn't even have a chance to prepare anything because Levinson didn't let her in on what was actually happening until the day of. Since they'd worked together before, the director worried that letting Maude in on what they were going to shoot would make her freak out, so he just opted to surprise her with the scene and work alongside her until they got what they needed. Lots of laughs were had by the cast and crew as they sat filming together while Levinson shouted random lines at Apatow to say while the cameras were rolling. Number 6. It's her first mainstream role, but she's no newbie. In fact, Chloe Cherry is a bit of an improv expert. She learned how to do improv when she was younger, but the hobby turned out to come in very handy when she found herself on set. Cherry was the one responsible for whipping out some of her most memorable moments in the series. The always collaborative Sam Levinson even directed the actress to just go wild with her dialogue, and thanks to that, Cherry spat out some incredibly funny lines, many of which did indeed make the cut. The actress has admitted there was plenty more improv, especially between herself and Zendaya, but it never wound up being seen by audiences. For the Faye actress, just the fact that her words have been bringing audiences a lot of laughs has been a real highlight and a major point of joy.
Good morning.
Number 7. On the Euphoria set, it's best to learn to expect anything. Minka Kelly showed up to set for her first day and was immediately caught off guard. The sensual scene that sees Maddie unzipping her character's dress for her is suggestive, but the original plan was for that dress to drop to the floor. Kelly didn't actually know very much about her character at this point or what they were even trying to do with the scene, so it felt like a shocking way to start her job as a guest on a show. Quickly enough, they changed the scene so the dress didn't drop, and even with the last-minute change, they managed to capture exactly what they needed. Number 8. Why act it when you can live it? Barbie was all for new experiences, so she figured she might as well have one in front of the entire cast and crew while the cameras were rolling. Why would she put herself through this seemingly awkward situation? The cat actress wanted to give as genuine a reaction as she could, so why not try for a real one? The shock of what popped up on Kat's screen was really well captured in the awkward but totally honest laughter that ensued. It was an intense and kind of strange improv, but in the end, it was a moving experience for Barbie. While what she saw looked very real, it was in fact just a very realistic looking prosthetic that was actually used. Number 9. The boundaries were definitely pushed. One of the most brutal fights in the first season was thanks to some epic and painful improv from Zendaya and Nika King. Thank goodness these two actors are close and have such deep love and respect for each other because they go hard. All that was written in the script was, Rue and her mom have a fight. But those simple directions turned into this. It was all or nothing. Just go as hard as you want to go. If she goes hard, you go harder, is what Levinson told them to do, and they did. The breaking point that stopped everyone in their tracks was when Zendaya started going at Nika with a broken piece of glass, literally running the camera person into the wall. The experience of it was draining for the actors, the crew on set, and Levinson, who actually had to leave the room and take some time to decompress solo after witnessing the cruelly honest portrayal of what it can be like for an addict and their family.
How many times do I have to tell you that we're not back together?
Right, you just hung out and talked about love.
Number 10. Why go home when you can go big? One of Nate and Cassie's many fights was a whole lot shorter to begin with. When Nate goes at Cassie for being a bad friend for sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend, the two were actually just supposed to argue for a bit and then call it a night.
If you were a f***ing sweet person, you wouldn't have f***ed your best friend's boyfriend.
Knowing each other and the storylines they've been working with, Elordi and Sweeney felt like their fight could be much bigger and presented an opportunity to really push boundaries. And Levinson is always up for some improv. Right then and there, Levinson whipped together 5 pages worth of dialogue and they went to filming immediately.
I love you.
Number 11. Adding stuff late almost always pays off. When the team was filming Rue and Ali having their one-on-one special, last-minute changes were the name of the game. Coleman loved the dialogue as written, but Levinson didn't hesitate to bring lines to the scene, including Rue's,
I just don't plan on being here that long.
Near the end of the episode. This moment in the conversation was key for the creator, who wanted to make sure that neither character was let off the hook. Number 12. She knows how to work it. Kat seems totally confident and in her element when she's deep in her camming adventures. But much of what we saw wasn't actually written in the first place. Barbie was going take by take, bringing new ideas in during her camming scenes throughout and having genuine reactions to what she was experiencing. It's one of those things you can write, but you also don't really know the reaction. Thank goodness she went for it, because some absolute gems came from this improv, including the line,
Are you crying?
Now that one left all of us in stitches. Number 13. Let's dive into the mind of Jules. We're all about the anime references scattered throughout the series, and most of them came to be because Hunter Schafer was a fan of anime herself. Jules mentioning she watched Madoka Magica was courtesy of the actress herself.
Are we gonna do some homework? Binge watch some Madoka Magica?
The fact that Jules' style is so anime-like anyway made it the perfect improv reference. Lucky for Schafer, who adored all these outfits. But then again, who didn't? Number 14. Any and all ideas are welcome with the Euphoria team. Since Sam Levinson is so open to having the cast collaborate with him on their characters, you throw out a line and then an actor runs with that idea and 3 other lines come out that are just a hilarious train of thought. Since these actors know their characters so well and have offered so much input already, they were able to stop if a line didn't feel right. Levinson really let the actors take the reins, allowing them to bring these characters to life with their own uniqueness. Number 15. How many lines have we never heard from Euphoria? The series creator would come up with alt lines on the spot, simply shouting them out at cast members while the cameras were rolling. With one new different line came a whole lot more, as the actors would riff off of whatever they were given, bringing more authentic and solid choices to the editing table. Levinson was very vocal on set, there's no doubt about it. Most of the dailies of Euphoria are just me yelling out lines off camera and then seeing what happens. Euphoria truly is the result of a tight-knit ensemble working together. These improvised scenes brought heightened drama, heartbreaking moments, and some seriously funny lines. The show is definitely better for them. Which improv moment was your favorite?